Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother, Teja Dash. So obviously a lot has happened since our last show. We were talking about ducking, and I think we now know there was no ducking with our guy actually had a legitimate injury that for whatever reason, the Sixers brass let him play in that game. But yeah, so a lot to get into on the show today. But one thing that's making the rounds before we get into the nitty gritty and the topics for the week, apparently there's a report going around that the Lakers are looking to trade LeBron James. A lot of Sixers fans are all over this, talking about LeBron needs to come to Philadelphia to complete the process to join up with Embiid and Maxey. What are your guys' thoughts on that potential of that happening? I know it's more of a fan made up thing of him coming to Philadelphia, but Eric, you played with LeBron and you played in Philadelphia. Is there like a pitch you could give LeBron to come to Philadelphia?
It would be great. I doubt if it happens, but it would be great. He would do great. I mean, he would love it. He would love Philly, and Philly would definitely love him. So that would be a interesting pair I would love to see.
It's funny that like he's kind of, I mean, as popular as he is, he's kind of like a villain in his own right because he's got like a love-hate with the general public. I think he'd embrace that villainhood with Philly though, right? Because I mean, Philly's already hated outside of Philly for the most part. So I feel like anyone on the outside
he would definitely fit in. He would fit in.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great mix.
That would be fun to watch.
And I feel like he'd get a lot of credit for getting us over that second round hump too. So it's not like he's just hopping onto a team that's just winning championship after championship. He's coming onto a team that's having trouble with some part of their season or their postseason. So you know, he come and be that piece that actually gets us over the hump. But no, I don't think it'll happen.
He could, yeah, I mean, he definitely could help from that standpoint, especially in the playoffs. So we know what he's done and what he's capable of doing still also. So I guess we can dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Schematically, though, how well would his pairing work with Maxey and Embiid? Would that be like an ideal pairing to have him with those two?
I don't necessarily know if it's ideal, but I know it'll work. He's that good of a player, and he's that dynamic and that versatile. So there's no doubt in my mind that it would work.
Yeah. I think it'd be great. He's a primary ball handler sometimes, secondary other times. You could defer to Maxey when Maxey's hot. He doesn't have to be the guy and worry about the last shot because of Embiid or Maxey. So you could say it's kind of like I would say rich man's version of what he had with Kyrie and Love. But, you know, Maxey's in the Kyrie mold, and then Embiid's, you know, obviously a little step higher than what Love provided, but similar.
Yeah.
He's proven he can play with the big in AD and Kevin Love too. So yeah, that's not an issue as well.
And Rich Paul actually came out today and said it's not happening. So the fact that he actually had to even like say something in my mind means it was pretty significant of a rumor if he had actually come out and acknowledge it, right?
Sixers but why is the agent coming out, not the team?
That's true.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Sixers fans are taking it and running with it right now. Everyone's bringing out the old complete the process pictures and stuff again. So, yeah.
Gosh.
You know, with the news happening this week, you know, that we're going to take anything we can get with Sixers fans this week.
We do need some wins.
Yeah. Even if it's coming from nowhere. But, yeah, let's begin with the news of the week. So good and bad news with Embiid. The bad news, obviously, Embiid has injured his lateral meniscus, and a treatment plan is being finalized as we speak. Nothing's really come out with it yesterday. There was a couple different reports. Shams said he tore his meniscus. Woj said he hurt his meniscus, and then Shams later deleted his tweet about the tearing of the meniscus. So I'm curious to see what the team says about that when more of his treatment plan gets finalized. But the good news is it could have been worse because they're not saying he's out for the season by any means. So we'll see Embiid back. But
are they saying anything?
No, the team hasn't. I don't think the team has said anything about it.
The official message, I think, is he's out over the weekend was what the official word is. But it was like, oh yeah, thanks, we got that. We kind of figured he'd be out over the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know if this is something new, and we don't know if this is something that if it was the same thing. We don't know. Because before they said he was out, they never said it was meniscus, like they're saying now.
Yeah. They just said swollen knee.
Yeah. Meniscus is what I had. So I don't know how you can hurt your meniscus without it being some form of a tear.
Yep.
It's minor. Meniscus is a tendon. So it's only certain amount of things you can do to a tendon. It's not a ligament.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the way it happened too, with someone falling on the knee. It's very, yeah.
And the meniscus is that one is if it's the same one as mine. It's on the interior of the knee. So it's the same knee, same meniscus as mine. Like I'm familiar with that location, unfortunately. I don't know how you can, like, what I did with mine was I shaved it down because it was like little pieces that were hanging off, and that's where the irritation and the swelling would come from.
That's brutal.
So you shave it off, and then when you shave it off, you get less cushion to support, like when your knee most like that. That's what the tendon is in between to cushion, basically, your knees like that. So when you cut it down, that's when you've heard the term when guys say they're bone on bone.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from, that because the tendon is either no longer there or it's been worn out. So my left knee now basically is bone on bone. My right one is a little tendon left. So hopefully he doesn't have to go that route, and hopefully it's not like that, because as you get older, that's just, I mean, I don't know. They got new technology now, so they might be able to do something different than when I played. Maybe they can replace it or do something else. I don't know. Maybe I need to know.
Yeah, there you go. Just follow the news and then follow the surgery.
Yeah, I just don't. I have talked to a doctor that told me there's some things that you can do for it, but it's not one of those things where it's kind of like grows back. You know what I'm saying? If it's torn, it's not going to like grow back. From from my experience, so that's why I said when people are saying where they're saying it's not a tear, I said, but they're also not saying that it's
what it is
healed and he'll be back. You know what I'm saying? So
still be worried is what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm saying for us not to know, and it's 3 days later. We know he's had an MRI. We know he's had a procedure. We know he's had. It's by now he didn't go to Utah, so by now he has definitely had an MRI. And he's had some form of technology where they looked at it. They had doctors examine it and look at it by now. So right now, like, I don't know, unless they're just not releasing the information. Like I don't know what plan. Like I don't know what could be
waiting
so
for
secretive. Yeah, by now. I don't.
I guess. I mean, the only thing I'm not a doctor, but the impact of it maybe created so much swelling that they're maybe waiting for that to go down before they take another look at it. I don't know. Because it wasn't like it was like a bad turn or something. It was a hit, you know?
Yeah, the swelling can do that. Swelling can prolong a diagnosis and for you to get a real feel. But usually if the swelling is like that and it's taking that long for you to do it, then it's not something that's too minor.
Yeah. 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 Well, the fact that you got one thing hair.
Let's hope it's not that. The swelling is so much that you can't get a real look at it. I mean, it's unfortunate. I just think we need to. I mean, you got. I don't anticipate, no matter how it is, I don't anticipate him being back before All-Star break, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's definitely not something you want to rush. So you've dealt with this. So
I mean, he was, no matter what, he was previously out before he came back and played the game. So, you know, the MVP and all that stuff is out the door. What he got? 3 games left? 4 games left? 3 games?
That's done. There's no way that happens. Yeah.
That's once that's out the window, is like what is it? What difference does it make?
Yeah. Yeah. It's 100% about playoffs at that point. Like everything else is just what? He's got his stats already.
Seeding would be the other portion of that, I would say. So forget MVP now. It's about the seeding aspect of things. Would you want to?
Seeding is looked at as playoffs, though.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like your seed is where you're going to be in the playoffs. So that's all playoff related. You know what I'm saying?
I think you can. I think at some point, or maybe even now, you might even stop thinking about having home court for round 1 and just worry about maybe not getting into staying out of the play-in game at this point.
Well, I mean, we are closer to the play-in than we are to first seed.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably going to get worse. Probably, yeah.
So a follow-up to this whole Embiid situation. So now there's a report coming out that the Sixers would be willing to part with a first-round pick for DeMar DeRozan. And this is something that we've really been held steady on not trading any of our big-time picks that we have. But obviously this Embiid injury is probably prompting some of these conversations to be had now. What do you guys think of parting with a first-round pick for DeMar DeRozan, since that's what's being reported right now? Do you think that would be a good fit without Embiid for the time being? And then when Embiid comes back, do you think that'd be a good fit?
I mean, DeMar can play. I like him. He's a free agent at the end of this year, correct?
Yep.
So I mean, it doesn't take you off of your plan, whatever your plan is for this summer. You come off of a first round pick that could be valuable in different areas or avenues. But like I said, it's the objective to win a championship. If it is, then you need to make some moves to try to make that happen.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could also look at it as in the fact that this is being talked about for a DeRozan caliber player means that they have optimism.
But my thing is my thing is DeMar, and my question for you is DeMar is a cap space guy. So I mean, he's taking up cap space, so it can't just be a first pick. We got to send some guys too, right? Some salary.
Yeah, I would guess it would be something like, without looking at the hard numbers, Morris would have to be included in that. I think DeRozan's number is around like 23 to 25. Morris makes, I think, 17 top of my head. Yeah, Morris makes 17, and then DeRozan makes 28. So we need to make up for like 10 more million. I would think that's like top of my head, House and Ferg. That would about equal it out. So yeah,
they have to have space. They have to have space for 3 guys, or they got to send some other guys or clear some guys, right?
Or send or just buy them out the second they get there. I guess I don't know.
Or send them somewhere else.
Yeah, or redirect them.
You can't. I mean, you got to have the spots.
But yeah, we don't have anyone that cleanly takes care of that unless it's a Tobias deal and then they add someone to that, like add a Caruso or something to that. But they're rumored to want a good amount for Caruso, so I don't think they would just be that easy if it's only 1 first-round pick. Yeah, be interesting to see. But in terms of adding him, I mean, I think if we can try to like connect dots. If they're talking about adding DeRozan, I would think, because there's a lot they're not telling us, obviously, about Embiid's injury. We agree on that. But there's probably some optimism in the room if they're talking about, because DeRozan's kind of an all-in type move for this year, right? He's on a 1-year deal. We're trading a first-round pick for him. It's a big move to only rent a guy for the rest of the season. So you got to be thinking Embiid.
I mean, it's a win now move. It's a win now move, but it's also a move that doesn't hinder, for the most part, your future plans.
Yes. Yeah. But in doing it, you're saying like we want this season to be a real shot, right?
Yeah, we value in each year of Joel's career right now. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
So I'm assuming then they think Joel will be okay come playoff time if they're go ahead with this. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's positive.
If not, then why do it?
Yeah, exactly.
If not, then why get rid of a first round?
Yeah, you just gave away a first.
He's not going to be there. Yes.
Because we can all agree that as good as DeRozan is, no Embiid, no championship, even with DeRozan, right? I think we can agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think DeRozan. I mean, yeah, there's fit problems. Even like you said about LeBron earlier, is it the perfect fit? No, but DeRozan's a good player, and anyone who's highly in favor of like a Jimmy Butler type move back to Philly, which I think most people are, should not be against DeRozan. They're not the same exact player, but they do give a lot of the same qualities. So anyone in favor of that should be in favor of DeRozan. I don't see why it's that different. So yeah, I think it'd be a good move.
Eric, Tej and I were having a discussion about where would DeRozan be if we had a starting 5, if we didn't trade anybody in our starting 5. I said it would go Maxey, DeRozan, Batum, Tobias, Embiid. Teja said no, it would be Melton at the 2. Batum would go to the bench, and DeRozan would go to the 3. Is that how you would see it?
DeMar's a 3. DeMar's a 3 right now. I think 3 is his best position. He can play the 2, but I think 3 is still his best position. But I can see them moving Melton and putting DeMar at a 2 if the 3 is more versatile and can defend 2s. I mean, it kind of really depends on
who you're playing to.
Well, no, it really depends on how you want Maxey to defend. Do you want him to be the primary defender on all of these point guards coming through here?
Yeah.
That should be more of how it looks. Because if we start DeMar and, say for instance, or maybe DeMar and Kelly, when we play, let's say when we play Milwaukee, who's guarding Dame? Maxey?
With that lineup,
he would have to. But if Melton's in there, then Melton could guard him. You see what I'm saying? So that it all depends. But at the same time, Milwaukee would probably put Dame on Batum. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty good starting five, though. I mean, regardless, I mean, it'd be optionality there with whoever you go with. Once Melton comes back, everyone's healthy again. Yeah, I thought it was very striking last night to notice that all the guys we got in that trade were inactive last night. I just thought that was my first epiphany. I was, wait, Morris is out, Covington's out, and Batum's out.
Yeah. Martin was in, but he played 5 minutes.
That's right. Yeah. All right. So, all in favor of DeMar DeRozan? Yeah. So, you guys all be down for the first round pick? Thumbs up, Eric?
I'm for it. Yeah. I'm for that.
Consensus. All right. So, other good news for this week. So, yesterday we had the bad news with Embiid, but then right after that, it was a nice little news dump. Embiid injury, then boom, right after that, Tyrese Maxey All-Star game, voted to his first All-Star game, and celebrated with the career-high 51-point game last night. So right off the bat, that game last night was a fun watch. Do you guys think that Maxey kind of had a little boost last night with the All-Star selection? And do you guys see a continuation of that with Joel Embiid being out for this foreseeable future?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was a combination how he's feeling and how the game was going, and he made those early shots. I think them playing zone and basically just said shoot, and then once he made those shots and he had that big half, it was just one of those games. Will it continue? I think his aggressiveness will continue. I hope his shot making continues. So, I've always think like for a guy to come back and play like that, then how could he miss the game before? Like I always think about that.
Yeah.
Come back and get 51 if you miss 3 games. Like that's pretty wild. That's like AI stuff,
41 minutes too.
Yeah, that's impressive. He's going to get a lot more attention. If Joel doesn't play. So I think he can do it. I do feel we need to find some versatility in him doing that. I don't think he needs to be a primary 3-point shooter, deep 3-point shooter for that to happen. I still think he needs to be in transition, receiving the ball and then making plays more so than the primary ball handler every time. So I just think, adding some versatility in his ways, different ways to score and attack.
Yeah. Tej, what were your thoughts?
Awesome game, and he actually said it after the game. If Embiid, it kind of alluded to like Embiid, if he did play, then he might have missed that. He probably would have missed that game from what I'm taking from his post game. I thought it was awesome. I thought he should have shot more threes. He was 7 of 9. He could have taken a few more, to be honest. I love that he went to the free throw line 11 times. That's great. He's getting contact, playing through it, and going to the line. 51 points, obviously incredible. He's going to have to he can't do it by himself every night. So he's going to have to get teammates involved. 1 assist, it's not going to get it done. I know he's shooting a lot more, taking the aggressive approach, but he is going to have to get other guys involved. He said he learned a lot from Harden. So hopefully he learned, that from Harden too, ways to get guys involved, even when you're stroking it that night. That was Harden's thing. He could score 45, but he also had like 13 assists in the game. It's not easy to do that, obviously, but, just something to get better at and try to get other guys involved. It'll help when we have more of our guys back. But incredible game. They were talking about it at halftime yesterday, the TNT guys, and they were saying like what a boost you just get off that, a confidence boost when you get sent to the All-Star game, and like you feel like you're already just a better player, and you can do things that you maybe were hesitant on, or you just have no hesitation at that point. Like you fully not that he didn't believe in himself before, because obviously he did, but just like it's just a whole other level you feel about taking shots and making plays that you maybe would have been hesitant about. It was really cool to see him get that. He deserved it. It was a nice reward. But yeah, just getting teammates involved. That's my only thing I think he should keep doing, and just keep being aggressive. Tobias was aggressive too, 21 shots.
And 7 assists.
Yeah.
His kickouts to Oubre were the reasons why we won that. Obviously, Maxey's big game, but then his kickouts to Oubre at the end of that game were huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did say in his post game that his ankle is still feeling pretty icky. So, I mean, he pretty much played that game 51 points on one ankle last night. That's Patrick Mahomes status right there.
Yeah, it's going to – I mean, if it's something with the ankle, it'll probably be a little irritating for a minute, even though he's – guys figure it out. Especially when they get in the game, they can muster their way through it.
Get warm, yeah.
But yeah, did you guys take any other notes? I know we called out to buy 13 of 21 last night, 7 assists. Anything else stand out to you guys in last night's game? Because this is probably going to be a good representation of what's going to be like for the foreseeable future, unless we make a trade here soon.
Play confident, play well, play together. I think that that's going to be needed. And I think they still need to stick with playing Mobamba. He had some late minutes too. Like I said, I feel like you got to stick to that. You got to stick to when there's a chance for him to play. You got to let him play. And the more he plays, I think the better for him and us. So guys are stepping up and ready for their moment, and that's good. That's good to see.
Yeah, Bamba 3 blocks. He was skying for those rebounds at the end of that game. It was Eric Cole, you need to stick to some of these guys, give these guys minutes because otherwise we're not going to know what they can do if we're never even playing them. We're just automatically going to let's pick up the next big center or try to trade for a center. We have two guys on the bench, and seeing what Bamba could do was nice last night.
It's funny, but I thought we got way more slaughtered on the boards than we did. We only lost the rebound battle by 3. I thought we were getting killed at that. When I was watching the game, I was like, man, what's the rebound disparity? Because it seemed like they were getting every board. They were getting second and third chances on shots, and they were hitting threes off of them. Good to see us finally have a good 3-point shot.
That's what it was. That's what it was. It was them scoring off of them.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem like it's more when they score off it.
It puts more weight on that rebound when someone hits a 3 right afterwards. They had a lot off that. If we stop that, Bama's going to have to get minutes because we're going to need just more rebounding help without Joel there. Paul Reed's a good rebounder, and he had 4 offensive rebounds last night. That's great, but we're going to need size, and we're going to need Bamba to be key while Joel's out. He's going to have to step up.
Yeah,
and his presence defensively in the post as well. The 3 swats he had. Actually, look at almost everyone on the team had a block last night. Harris 1 block, House 1 block, Paul Reed 2 blocks, Oubre 3, Maxey 1, and then Bamba 3.
All the starters had one, at least one.
Everyone's got to step up, do your part.
Oubre's had active hands. Yeah, I know people have gotten after him for not being the greatest defender in his past, but he's putting a maximum effort this year.
Eric, I want to get your what were your thoughts on Jaden Springer? Jaden Springer was D'ing up Clarkson pretty well last night. What do you think about that? It was gritty.
I mean, what he's been doing, I think we kind of know that's who he is. Him being able to display it on a consistent basis. Some of it we don't know if it's him, and we don't know if it's opportunity. That's the part with him trying to figure it out. Is it his level of consistency or the level of consistency with the opportunities? But more than anything, as long as he keeps up his energy, because that's where he's different, that I think he'll provide opportunity for himself and be able to do some things for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was locking him down yesterday. That was great to watch. And Marcus and I were saying yesterday watching the game, we didn't look up to see if he played football, but he would have been a badass football player, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we're going to head to our game picks here. So Sixers are headed home after a 1-4 road trip, obviously, winning the last one, going 0-4, and then you win your last one. Hopefully a little momentum sparks there going into Saturday night against Brooklyn. I don't know if Ben Simmons is going to play, so we don't know if there's going to be a return to Philadelphia for him this weekend. Maybe he'll be on the sideline with a nice looking outfit on. But who do you guys have in this one Saturday at 6:00 Eastern Standard Time against the Brooklyn Nets? The spread is not out yet for this game.
I say we'll win. Be tough. They'll play well, even with or without Ben. Especially without Joel. It's a hard matchup for us. With their, it makes taking Joel out helps them a great deal.
Yeah.
So it'll be tough. I think we win it, but it's gonna be a tough one. I don't think it's a team that we will have. I don't think we'll have the type of success that we have when Joel was playing.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, it was our game 4 last year. When we swept them, that was without Joel, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah.
To end the season?
No, the sweep, the first round of the playoffs.
In the playoffs. Oh, he didn't play one of those games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, getting blown out by the Suns, I mean, they've been playing pretty well, even in their losses. They blew out Jazz, who we just struggled against. They beat the Rockets. They lost by 2 to the Timberwolves. Lost by 5 to the Knicks. They lost by 11 to the Clippers, and they beat the Lakers. They lost by 2 to the Blazers. Lost by 1 to the Heat. So they're even in the games they're losing for the most part against decent teams, good teams. They're hanging around. It's going to be a tough game. I'm really curious to see what the spread's going to be. But we're going to have to pull out victories like this without Joel if we're going to hang around and not be in a play-in game. So I'm going to say we win in our return to home. I think it's going to be a really tough game, and if we are favored, might take them in covering that, because I think it'll be a really close game down to the wire.
Yeah, that first game back, I mean, they really call it the last game of the road trip. So,
yeah, I've actually noticed that, Eric. I noticed some teams have like letdowns when they first get back home. Why is that?
Time change. It's a lot of different things. You come back home, you tend to be more relaxed. You relax a little bit more. Your sense of urgency isn't as high. Sometimes when you come back, you kind of feel like, oh, we're home, so things are going to go well. And then just the draining of the travel.
Yeah.
Like I said, like this, how you feel when you travel for a while and you come back, like it takes you a minute. Everyone's like that. So kind of win that game, and it's like, I mean, it's still like they played last night, but when that game was over, it was after midnight in Philly, after 1 o'clock in the morning in Philly.
Yeah.
So you still playing where it feels like 48 hours. It's way less than 48 hours. It's closer to, in some ways, it's closer to 24 than 48. Then you got to fly all the way back for a team that's probably just taking the train ride to Philly. Yeah. It's different schedules. Now, if everybody's on the same schedule and you in the playoffs where you playing them and both teams are traveling and doing the same schedule, that's different. But here, everybody isn't playing the same schedule. So it is different.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that sigh of relief when you're home too, but you're like, we have to come out and claw and dig for this, especially even without Joel. It's like that extra, like everyone's got to be extra on top of it, right? So, yeah, I see that. And a lot of people are sluggish when they get back off a trip that first day of work. They're kind of dragging through it.
Oh, yeah.
Can't drag through a basketball game.
Yeah.
Monday. So before our next show, we'll have one more home game. It's Monday, 7 p.m. hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, I mean, Luka, Kyrie. I mean, they pack a hell of a punch offensively. And I remember last year we had some good offensive showdowns with them. I think they're one of the first games with Kyrie. It was against us. It was like a 140 to 140 kind of game. What do you guys think wins this one?
I think I'll say we win, but we can't have Luka going for 50 and triple doubles, and like we have to do something. Like we have to shut something down. But I think he has his normal great game. I just think, Maxey plays well, but I just think our other guys play better than theirs.
Get Springer off the bench and have him just shadow Luka all night. Give him the business.
You're not gonna stop those guys from getting their numbers, man. You just want to be able to help you put your team in position. You ain't gonna help them. You ain't gonna stop them guys from getting numbers, man.
Do you think teams are gonna start to, until we prove we're we can score and be a consistent force without Embiid? Do you think teams will kind of let their guard down a little bit against us with no Joel?
I mean, I think guys naturally would do it, but if you look at sort of what the Lakers did with Boston and like us winning the game when Joel was out, like mature teams won't do it. You know what I'm saying? Teams that are focused and ready to play won't let their guard down, because you still got to. You should be able to. You should have to respect. You should be respecting everyone every time you step out there on that court. So
yeah,
if you let your guard down, you deserve to get beaten.
Yeah, or maybe a game that teams, maybe if they're going to sit their star and rest them after back-to-back, maybe we're that team.
It could be, but but we are getting deep into the season, so I don't think teams in the Eastern Conference are going to think like that. That's trying to move and stay in front of us, or catch us. They're not going to think like that. You may have some Western Conference teams like that, but then that race is out there is thick too.
It's true.
So I don't see it.
Yeah,
I say it's getting towards, All-Star break used to be like, a little earlier in the season, whereas now it's closer to the end. That you're not coming out of All-Star break with half the season left.
Yep. Let's keep an eye on that. Oh, as far as win-loss, sorry, the Dallas game. Irving still might not play. I mean, he's questionable for tomorrow's game against the Bucks, so we'll see. We'll monitor his status. If both of them play, I think we have a tougher time against them. I think we lose that game. It's a tough matchup. We lost that game with Embiid last year, right? So, not to say we can't win it without him, but
I think that was at Dallas though when we lost it. Yeah, but oh well, yeah. So I think I'm with Eric here. Both games this weekend wins.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope so. I hope so.
Get this 3-game win streak going, baby. And then we add into DeRozan in 2 weeks. Next week's the trade deadline. Ooh, yeah. Next week's gonna be a fun week.
Next Thursday, right?
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll have some nice trade deadline rumors for our next episode on Tuesday.
Yep.
All right, fellas. Well, hopefully we continue this win streak until our next episode, guys. Have a good weekend, fellas.
All right.
Enjoy, guys.
Cheers, everybody.